Happy birthdays as well. You always find the latest courtyard permanent solution. Out of the box.
Hello and welcome to Radio Waves by Todderbert. If you enjoy reviews, comparisons, band scans of new and classic portable radios, then make sure to subscribe and tap the bell icon so you don't miss any of my most excellent videos. In front of us with the Sangean PR-D19. This is an AM/FM stereo digital portable radio. In this video, I'm going to perform an evening medium wave band scan, but first I'll go over features, second I'll do a size comparison, and third I'll start cruising the evening band. So it's been about 3 years since I've had this radio out on my channel. I figured I'd reintroduce it to those folks who are new subscribers. A really nice radio. Sangean's known for great selectivity and sensitivity on the radios, and the D19 does not slouch whatsoever. An amazing radio. Those who own one will tell you that they love it as well. I haven't heard anybody really complain about this one. Maybe the D18 because it's not as it's a smaller compact version and it's not as sensitive, but this one here, wow, wait till you hear it. It's absolutely amazing. So D19, let's go over features and give you a little bit of a rundown of what it can do. So yeah, for your $57 you get auxiliary in, nice. FM stereo headphone jack. Of course you can listen to stereo on these two speakers as well. You have a DC input, 6 volts, 1 amp. Now, they don't supply the AC adapter, unfortunately, but that's nice to have. Especially this radio, you're going to want to run it all the time. Going into the front, you can see we have two 2¼ inch speakers. They got nice tonal quality. We have our LCD display here, which is showing the clock when the radio is off. Right now is 11:42 p.m., and it's Central Standard Time. I'm near Chicago, Illinois, USA, for the sake of the band scan. Of course, this is white backlit, and when we turn the radio on, it shows the frequency information. For buttons, we have wake to alarm, buzzer, and we have wake to radio. Both of these can be active, so you can have dual alarm going, and they have thresholds you can set and the radio station you desire to wake up to. Over here we have a band button to select AM/FM. You have AM1, AM2, and FM1, FM2. That's to give you extra presets on top, which I'll show you. You'll notice it says bandwidth. You can actually have a narrow and wide on the AM and on the FM. And a little green writing there, it says step. And what that means is you can control the stepping of the radio by pressing and holding while the power is off. We enter this firmware mode. We're going to enter our menu by hitting the tuning button. You can change your clock to 12-hour to 24-hour. You can change the FM stepping from 100 kilohertz to 50 kilohertz, and you can change the AM stepping from 10 kilohertz to 9 kilohertz. And then you have 4 frequency choices here on the FM band. You have 64 to 108, 76 to 108, 87.5 to 108, and 76 to 90 megahertz. So really neat that they allow that feature as well, especially if you're traveling around with this radio. If you're a world traveler, you're going to love this radio for that. As you saw here, we got a green LED, lights up when you turn the power on, a power button, of course, with the sleep function, volume controls. Display feature. Now display is nice when the radio is on and the frequency is showing. You can hit this to see the clock if you're logging something, or if it goes back to clock and you want to see what frequency you're on, tap display, it takes you to the frequency. You can also toggle FM stereo on and off, and then below there you can see it says time set. Right here we got tuning buttons up and down. It gives you control, of course, seeking up and down as well through the band, so I like using those. Let's go over to the right-hand side. You'll notice there's nothing there. It's a rubber bumper that goes all the way around the radio to help protect it as you're moving it around. Top are 5 little clicky preset buttons. So you get 5 presets per band. I mentioned there's AM1, AM2, FM1, FM2. That's so you get extra presets. You get a total of 20. Here is our telescopic whip antenna. It goes to 27 inches. This is the same whip antenna they use on the bigger radios as well, like the PR-D15 and D5, those monster-sized radios. Frequency ranges there. We have a lock switch to lock the radio down. And then if you open this up, you'll see we got 4 AA batteries with a hinged door here so we don't lose it. That's handy. So yeah, if you run this radio a lot, you're definitely going to want to invest in the AC adapter. So let's go ahead and do a size comparison and start cruising the band because I'm not sure what we're going to find tonight. So here we have a little CC Pocket AM/FM weather alert radio. Give you an idea. Nice. Next we have a shortwave radio, little CC Skywave. So you can see the Sangean's pretty decent size, and it also has a larger antenna in there than the D18, so it makes it so good. AM is just fantastic. And they actually take measure by copper shielding the antenna so you get better reception. No buzzing. It's just fantastic. Here's the CC Skywave 2 AM, FM, weather, air, and shortwave. Loving it. And if you don't have those two radios, we have the handy dandy deck of cards. Iron Man, he's the man with the master plan. He can spin it faster than you can. He's Iron Man. I like tuning my Sangean radios, man. That's right. Okay, you get the idea? Well, you didn't really. I was just playing around, but there you go. Deck of cards, size, boom. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn it on. We'll start at the bottom of the band. Turn up our volume. Greet with the battery life indicator. Our bandwidth, right now there's only two bandwidth choices. You have wide and narrow, or an AM1, 520 kilohertz. Our power LED indicator, indicating the radio is on in case you turn the volume down. It's good to know. But your sleep function is off. Current time again, 11:46 p.m. Let's go ahead and start tuning. So, these buttons here. This is cool. This is Cuba, I believe. Bringing in a Terk Advantage just to see if we can't get some legibility on the signal. Yeah, that Terk Advantage works really well with the PR-D19 during the day and evening. Fantastic. This station here out of Cuba is about 1,700 miles to the southeast. Pretty far distance at night. It's coming nice and clear. That's great. And then if I turn it, sometimes I can pick up a different station. And I'm just getting a hint of it's CHLO, Brampton, Ontario. Let's keep going.
All the action of
two mixing stations. This direction CBK Watrous, Saskatchewan, which is 1,000 miles. And this direction is WAK Jackson, Wisconsin, which is closer.
It started with where to build it. Residents on both sides of the city wanted it. Officials argued there had to be room.
Just make out the second speaker. See if we can't do anything with the loop. A little bit of noise. I think we're getting 550 there.
Room looked beautiful. I was at a wedding. This was last holiday season. That was.
Here's 550 KTRS, St. Louis, Missouri, 275 miles, 5,000 watts. Yeah, definitely was picking that up on 540 a little bit.
Your family florist.
I'm Farmer Dave, and here's my good friend and owner of MasterCars Inc., Alex Rosenberger, with today's hot MasterCars Inc. deals.
Well, the cool weather's setting in, as you know.
Farmer Dave.
Red grills. Our compact everywhere is a favorite of RVers and trailer pullers.
560, the answer, WIND, Chicago. Now, if you look here, it says Memory 1. It's up here on Memory 1. Go 2.
Justin Fields did.
Back to 1.
Learn more at besthotgrill.com. Affordable, powerful, portable.
Elsewhere, Crystal Palace Medical Texas Correct. I might miss the rest of the season.
Not sure what that is. Could be Michigan.
And then somebody that also calls you and says, my house is covered up in mold, and we demand that you remediate the whole house.
Should be WKZO, Kalamazoo, Michigan. Or, you know, this could be KXSP. I think this is KXSP, Omaha, Nebraska. 405 miles, 5,000 watts. Yeah, it is.
Either you're hiring somebody to come out and do that, may have a vested interest in finding mold, or you got to get on a plane. See how dumb this is? To sell the house. Hiring somebody to come out and do that, may have a vested interest in finding mold, or you got to get on a plane.
Okay, must be a syndicated show. WMT, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, 175 miles, 5,000 watts to the west.
Math is mostly psychology. I mean, not math. money most of the time.
Okay, Josh Bob. Really? Sean Mannion's better? I mean, really? What are you going to, really? These guys are better? These guys are better?
Okay, so this is KCSP 610 Kansas City, Missouri, 400 miles, 5,000 watts.
No, Josh Dobbs did not have a big game tonight, and I understand that. But in the end, Josh Dobbs has been pretty good.
That extra baggage of having a house a bunch of states over just doesn't seem worth it to me.
The other option is, could you live in it 6 more months and hit that 2-year mark?
WTMJ, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 52 miles to the north, 10,000 watts.
I guess that's another thing that's in our favor. There's no rush. We, once again, want to start a family.
Country music there is CFCO, Chatham, Ontario, 310 miles, 6,000 watts to the northeast. Okay.
NAACP is working to disrupt inequality and accelerate.
So yeah, you can get a lot of stations by just moving the radio around. If you're new to AM or medium wave, by moving the radio and changing the direction of that internal antenna will yield you different results. It's really neat. So right now, this is 640 WMFN Peatone, Illinois. It's 75 miles from my location at 1,600 watts at night. And if I turn it that way, I'm getting Iowa. I'm getting WOI, Ames, Iowa, 265 miles, 1,000 watts.
During the month of December. And here is another.
There you go.
Nashville, Tennessee. Now playing on WSM Radio.
Luke Combs, where the wild things go.
So there's a 650. You can't hover on it. WSM, Nashville, Tennessee, 434 miles to the south. Nice.
I'm in love. Winds in the chime, stars in a...
Take it away from these other guys, but man, what type of change do you really need?
Okay, so we're just picking up 660 here. WFAN, New York, New York. 750 miles to the northeast. 670 is really close to this, and it's a Chicago station that really is a strong one. So what we can do is try to narrow this. It makes a big difference.
Like I said, it is understated how much it helps this young man to have a left tackle in Andrew Thomas and a running back in Saquon Barkley. It is understated how much that helps
So if we try to DX, press and hold.
That'll be a devastating move. They could.
Nice.
And like,
It was not an even game, but he made a play, that's for sure. And the defense was making plays all night.
670, the score. WCR, Chicago, home of the Cubs.
There were victories within the victory tonight. The Bears do win 12-10. Olin and Patrick, it has been a pleasure, gentlemen. Have a great night. You too, Mark. Thanks, man. Later, boy. Bring some great food for today's game.
we're going to talk about
Okay, this is CJOB. I don't have it printed now, but I do know it's Canada, this direction. I think we're picking up 670 there. You can remove 670 by moving it 90 degrees away. A little bit. Let's keep going. But yeah, 680 CJOB, I'll put that down there. I definitely was picking it up. And of course, if you wait an hour or so later, it might be even better. So conditions can improve, or they can worsen, depending on the weather. Yeah, let's keep going.
$1 billion sets a record. The weather event formally
700 WLW, Cincinnati, Ohio, 300 miles to the east.
Severe convective storms have so far led to at least $55.67 billion in insurance damage in the United States.
So this is 710 WOR, New York, New York. barely picking it up.
312-981-7200 is our phone number if you want to jump in and join the conversation as well. Happen OV, sponsored by your local Chevy dealers. ChevyDriveChicago.com. Put a Chevy Silverado in your tool.
WGN Chicago.
It's time for the Make the Holidays Bright.
7:30. This is CKDM. Dauphin, Manitoba. Northwest, 820 miles. Some awesome music on CFCM, Zoomer Radio, Toronto, Ontario, 460 miles to the northeast. Sounds good.
And there's the photo booth. All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese! Followed naturally by an order of wings.
WSB, Atlanta, Georgia, 630 miles.
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend? Terrorist groups in surrounding areas. But so long as those groups survive, they immediately claim victory and then they regrow. Israel cannot allow that. What's more,
760 WGR, Detroit, Michigan, 270 miles.
over the weekend, quote, we have 3 goals for this war: eliminating Hamas, returning our hostages, ensuring Gaza does not become a threat to the state.
Yeah, but in life, in culture, in politics, is that we get into these little bubbles. We only tend to talk to our little corner of the world.
770 WABC, New York, New York, again, 750 miles to the northeast, coming in clear tonight.
The Pulitzer Prize-winning historian is the founder of something called the American Exchange Project, which is all about getting people outside of their bubble and interacting with people that are different from them. So maybe if you're...
This is Chicago's news, traffic, and weather station. News Radio 1059 WBBM.
Coming up at 12:05 is when radio was. In the meantime, here are the stories we'll be following on News Radio WBBM.
So yeah, maybe I can click over and get some old-time radio show going. It's awesome, 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. Central Standard Time. Definitely check it out if you guys can pick up WBBM. So WBBM News Radio, Chicago.
Prisoner swaps. The latest on that next from
790.
How do you do? When a man has lived without freedom and risked his life to escape, it's hard to believe he would really...
CKLW, Windsor, Ontario, 270 miles.
...was a man in this story. Because of one bad decision, he spent years looking...
Could improve. We wait. 810 is WGY. Albany, New York, 740 miles.
Is a tablet, not a shot, so you can skip the weekly doctors. Side effects, results, and at half the price. Go to redmountainweightloss.com.
So the music in that direction was a local station still powered up, WCPT. I think it's Joliet, 60 miles, 1,500 watts at night. And here's WBAP, Fort Worth, Texas, in this direction, southwest, 810 miles.
10 times faster than you would know.
Again, what's
Find out more by searching the Stacking Benjamins podcast, wherever you listen.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP AM, Fort Worth, Dallas.
And 99.5 HD2 KPLX FM, Fort Worth, Dallas. Streaming live on our free mobile app.
Top of the hour.
Colbert says his shows all this week have been canceled. He writes, I'm sure you're thinking turkey...
Here's WCCO, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 310 miles to the west.
...surgery for a ruptured appendix. Matt Piper, CBS News, New York.
On Giving Tuesday, Americans are expected to give billions.
In Wuhan. So, yes, a lot of cause for worry, and there is clearly a lack of
clear. WHAS, Louisville, Kentucky. Sometimes it doesn't come in for anything, but some days it comes in beautiful, like it is now. I listen to Coast to Coast on this station.
Plans to testify next month. You're listening to ABC News.
This is News Radio 840 WHAS. Your news now.
Kentucky State Police are investigating.
850? KOA, Denver, Colorado. Let's see if we can't make it sound better. The Loop. Terk Advantage, a great passive loop you can pick up. Awesome if you're an AM listener.
On Wednesday with the low about 22. However, it remains clear in 24. I'm the outbound KOA. 8:50 a.m. and 94.1 FM.
Yep, he said KOA.
With news, talk, and sports.
The news is coming up next. We'll just talk about this.
Grève générale illimitée, ce qui force la fermeture de près de 800 écoles à travers la province. Le ministre de l'Éducation, Bernard Drinville.
CJBC, Toronto, Ontario, 460 miles. As you can see here, it's English, French speaking. Usually that's all they're speaking on here.
Pour le moment, honnêtement, là, je vous compte pas d'histoire, là. Jusqu'à maintenant, il n'y a eu aucun mot.
Terms and conditions apply.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver card. Can I earn
870, this is WWL, New Orleans, Louisiana. 865 miles to the south.
But why would anyone want that?
5040. That's 800-800-5040. Or visit maxouthomes.com. Portions of this broadcast have been recorded. Now more than ever, it matters where you get your news. New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut depend on WCBS 880 News. And this is the WCBS 880 News.
There you go. Frequency and call letters. WCBS New York, New York, 750 miles. It's a beautiful thing. That's why they have that campaign with AM radio, keeping it alive. It makes perfect sense to never get rid of it because of the distances achieved, especially in the evening for continental United States. Like here I am in Chicago, and I can hear New York City, I can hear New Orleans, I can hear Texas, I can hear Canada. So yeah, this is pretty amazing what I can pick up. I can hear out to Denver. So yeah. Love it. Just can't get over the Rocky Mountains. It's a little too far. But I can get to the East Coast, no problem. Like Georgia and Virginia. Okay.
He writes on social media that his appendix burst and he's recovering from surgery. He swears that
here's 890 WLS Chicago. I'll go a little quicker now.
And his wife.
So we got to zip through the stations. Yeah, the music station is 940 WFAW, Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin. I like listening to that at night. It comes in clear.
Ironed out. A Toronto laundromat owner catches a woman stealing from his business, but their interaction ends with compassion rather than conflict.
The genuine article. Well, adjective. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary has unveiled its honest-to-goodness...
CBW 990, Winnipeg, Manitoba, 675 miles.
You can see both sides. A local tour guide reflects on New York's decision to crack down on souvenir vendors.
Found DJ Moore for the 36-yard reception, setting up the game-winning field goal.
WMVP, Chicago.
Today's game, the Bears break the skid in the division. They win on the road.
What?
They beat the Vikings
12-10.
And you know what? Great clips. They are.
The Bears win? Hey, all right. Go Bears. Go Bears. Go Bears.
From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
Hello and welcome. He is Jerry McNamara.
Okay, 1020, we have KDKA, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 450 miles to the east.
Just shaking my head.
Yes, it might be easier sometimes to go online or go to the big box stores, but these days it's critical that we spend time on Main Street.
WBZ, Boston, Massachusetts, 880 miles, right to the east coast.
To come because of
If we don't support them, we're going to have a lot of dark storefronts.
Nicole Davis, WBZ, Boston's News Radio.
It was a Black Friday to forget for...
Delay is good. Pope Francis has issued a health update on himself.
And if you hear me going quickly over coast to coast, that's because they do copyright their material. WHO, Des Moines, Iowa, 280 miles to the west. Yeah, the coast to coast is syndicated, of course, we all know that. Probably most of my viewers that watch this channel who have radios and listen to Coast to Coast. Yeah, it's a good show. Sometimes they have some really cool speakers. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes it's pretty lame. But sometimes it's pretty interesting stuff. But yeah, they have a pay program or something so you can listen to their past shows. And so that's why they copyright stuff.
Obesity arising among young children in the United States for a ruptured appendix.
Access to it. The father's not charged with any crimes. The son's charged as an adult with first and third degree murder.
Here's 1060 KYW, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 700 miles to the east.
Radio 103.9 FM.
This court in Harrisburg has stalled a lot of legislation.
You just missed it, but yeah.
Lawmakers celebrated.
Rocket. This music, I think, is KAAY, Little Rock, Arkansas, 570 miles to the south.
Effectively, indefinitely, even if you rarely accessed it. But yeah.
Here's 1100 WTAM, Cleveland, Ohio, 345 miles.
I believe a lot of people didn't hear the announcement. This about 6 months ago. I believe a lot of people didn't hear the announcement.
It's coast to coast again, I know it. KFAB, Omaha, Nebraska, 405 miles on 1110, coming in clear. Usually this is a hard one to pick up.
They'll do this if they consider the account to have been.
I kind of laugh because the beatings I took in my life, dude, I have some hardened ribs. If you kick some hit these, they're going to really hurt me.
Here's KMOX, St. Louis, Missouri, 275 miles.
Is when I was growing up, my dad's house.
There's an associated YouTube channel tied to an account, and with YouTube videos.
Yeah, more coast to coast, WRVA, Richmond, Virginia, 665 miles. I'll go a little quicker here.
Is it to be saved? Is it to stay saved?
Local Christian radio.
It's because we're saved.
They're supposed to take the account out of inactive status so it won't be deleted. Now, unfortunately,
here's 1180 Wham, Rochester, New York, 545 miles.
Over the years, have been locked out of their Google accounts due to things like confused passwords, problems. Many people. They're supposed to take the account of inactive status so it won't be deleted.
Same dude on all the stations. It's funny. WPHT, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 700 miles.
Due to things like.
You'll recognize some of you as I described it.
Okay, you're going to go quicker so we can finish this up. So a lot can be discovered in this section. Okay, I'm going to go all the way up to 1510. Okay, I'll go 1510.
Request any real help, so we know it. This is an area that I've been bugging Google about for many, many years.
Yep, coast to coast again, WLAC, Nashville, Tennessee, 434 miles south.
Google data because they've been unable to get back into their account.
It's so funny to hear him repeating.
This team to even accomplish what he's accomplished coming into this game tonight. So I continue to pull for him, but yeah, it was a tough afternoon.
WCKY, Cincinnati, Ohio. Cincinnati, Ohio is 300 miles to the east. Got my little cheat sheet to the right here.
Their offensive line would perform better than what they did, and he's under a lot of pressure.
Joshua Dobbs. Remember that Obama guy when Obama was president, and he
1540 is KXEL, Waterloo, Iowa, 210 miles to the west.
Riot and pillaging. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Okay, let's cruise up to 1610. They have copyright music too. CHHA, Toronto, Ontario. Again, 460 miles to the northeast.
Please follow posted details. For more information, please visit Lake County Passage.
Traffic Advisory Radio, Lake County, Illinois.
7,000.
Music there's KCJJ, the Mighty. Iowa City, Iowa, 175 miles. Nice.
Oh, 0-3 against San Jose State all time. They played a couple games against San Jose State in the 1970s.
I think this is WQLR, Kalamazoo, Michigan, 137 miles east.
10 miles coaching the Spartans. He was the Bison coach for 6.
Cool. Music here's WPTX, Lexington Park, Maryland, 685 miles. Picked us up really good. Probably my position by the Great Lakes.
Listen to a miserable Ryan Day after that loss to Michigan. Let's listen to somebody miserable.
1700 KBGG, Des Moines, Iowa, 280 miles to the west. Okay, we're done. Go ahead and turn that off. Yeah, so an excellent radio, PR-D19, lots of options in there. Just enough, a little bit of bandwidth if you need it to DX some faint stations. If you're doing any kind of FM listening, this thing's fantastic. I don't know if you guys know, I was using this as a FM receiver for e-skipping during the summertime, and I'd let it run for days recording, and picked up quite a bit in the years past. So an excellent receiver for selectivity, FM and AM. You can't go wrong here. Definitely a worthy pickup. Loving it. So, what we forgot to do? We forgot to check Old Time Radio. Here it is.
See, I get Christmas presents from everywhere. CBS, Lucky Strike, even my hometown, Waukegan. I wonder what Waukegan will do for me this Christmas. Last year they did a wonderful thing. They destroyed my birth certificate.
Jack Benny program. Cool. So, yeah. Thought I'd put that on there real quick. Sangean Radio. Okay, so if you want to see more band scans, features, different radios, Sangean, just make sure to subscribe at the bell icon, get notified of those videos. And 3, comment below what you think about the PR-D19. Is it something you'd pick up? Do you own one right now? Is it something you're a first-time radio purchaser, or you're looking to get one? Is it something that appeals to you? Let me know. All right, guys, take care, and we'll see you in my next video.